Welcome to Horror Year, where every story is a journey into the unknown. If you're brave enough to face your darkest fears and uncover the most chilling tales, you've come to the right place. So, dim the lights, turn up the volume, and subscribe to Horror Year. Your journey into terror begins now. Welcome to a night of spine-chilling tales and eerie encounters. In this video, we're diving into 8 true frightening horror stories, each one animated to bring the terror to life. Turn down the lights and prepare for a journey into the unknown. Are you ready to face your fears? Let's begin. A woman living alone starts hearing knocks on her door every night at exactly midnight. At first, she thinks it's a prank, but the knocks grow louder and more insistent. She peeks through the peephole, but no one is ever there. One night, she decides to ignore the knocking. The next morning, she finds claw marks all over her door with a note that says, "You should have answered." Late one night, a college student takes the last bus home. The bus is almost empty, except for a few people who stare blankly ahead. As the bus drives deeper into the city, the passengers begin to vanish one by one. The student tries to alert the driver, but he doesn't respond. She finally realizes the bus isn't taking her home. It's a ride for the dead, and she's the next to disappear. A man notices that every time he passes a certain house on his way to work, the curtains move slightly, as if someone is watching him. He tries to catch a glimpse of who it is, but never sees anyone. Curious, he decides to knock on the door one day, only to find out that the house has been abandoned for years. As he turns to leave, the curtains flutter again, and he feels something cold brush against his neck. A couple finds an old photograph of a family in the attic of their new home. The family in the picture seems normal, except for the ghostly figure standing in the background. As the days go by, they notice that the figure is appearing in the background of their own photos, getting closer each time. When they finally decide to destroy the photograph, the figure is already inside their house. A driver takes a wrong turn on a dark, foggy night and ends up on a deserted road. He tries to turn back, but the road seems to stretch endlessly. He spots a figure in the distance and stops to ask for directions, but the figure silently points to a sign that reads "No exit." Terrified, the driver speeds away, only to find himself back at the same spot, with the figure now sitting in his back seat. A mother starts receiving texts from her daughter, who she believes is away at college. The messages are normal at first, but they become increasingly strange, with her daughter asking to come home because "they won't let me leave." Worried, the mother drives to the college only to be told by the administration that her daughter died in a car accident a week ago. A man hears strange noises coming from the basement of his new home, but when he checks, the room is always empty. One night, the noises become unbearable, so he decides to investigate thoroughly. As he descends the stairs, he finds an old, rusted door he hadn't noticed before. The door creaks open on its own, revealing a dark, empty room, except for the eyes staring back at him. A woman starts hearing a faint, static-filled voice coming from an old radio she found in her attic. The voice only says her name, over and over, in a monotone. She tries to turn the radio off, but it won't stop. As the nights go on, the voice becomes more aggressive, screaming her name and demanding she come back. Finally, she smashes the radio, but as she walks away, she hears the voice again, this time coming from her phone.